to see you all and welcome to our presentation. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Cẩm and my teammates are Chami, Hồng Hạnh, and Phương Thảo. And on behalf of Group 3 from Tutorial 3 in Credit Analysis and Lending Management, today we are going to share about the Shabeco. We will apply credit analysis methods such as the 5C, risk premium, and advantage score to determine if the company can be approved for loan. So we have divided our presentation into four main parts. If you have any question, please feel free to ask my team after the presentation. So let's start the presentation with a brief introduction about Sabeco. Sabeco stands for Saigon Beer Alcohol Beverage Corporation. So the company has a capital of 6,412 billion VND. So back to the history of the company, starting from a small scale founded by a Frenchman in Saigon in 1875. So in July 2004, Saigon Beer Company developed strongly into Saigon Beer Alcohol Beverage Corporation and became a leading enterprise in Vietnam beer production industry. So in 2008, they established Sabeco as a joint stock company through the equitization. So by 2016, the company was listed on HOHE. So up to now, Sabeco has 28 member companies and is still growing strong. So we move to the mission, vision, and core values of Sabeco. With Vision 2025 is develop Sabeco to become the leading beverage group in Vietnam, having a firm foothold in regional and international markets. With that vision, the company also set very important missions like developing to keep pace with the world, promote their culinary culture, improve the quality of life, bring practical benefits, food hygiene and safety and environmental protection, transparency in business, community activity, and international integration. Shabico also had five core values: traditional brand, social responsibility, cooperation for mutual fund benefits, sticking, and continued improvement. In order for a company to grow so big, and it must have a very visionary management system. So Sabeco organizational structure is divided into many divisions and departments to undertake specific professional tasks headed by the general meeting of shareholder and the chairman of the board of directors. The board of directors is divided into four main blocks: the audit committee, the board of management, and the board of director office. So we move to the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis model is a useful tool used to understand the strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and the threat in a project or business organization. About the strength of Sabeco, with holding 15 to 16% of the market share of beer and beverage in Vietnam. Sabeco being an enterprise with a large market share, it comes with an advanced production system and dedicated staff. So what are the weaknesses of Sabeco? Maybe mentioned as a high production cost. The growth rate is not uniform and it's difficult to manage the product quality if manufactured in many factories. So, and what are the opportunities that will make the business more favorable, like growing demand, high economic growth rate, and international cooperation is promoted. So the last one is threat about Sabeco, may be known as the raw material price high tax and competition from foreign companies. Yes, that's all about Sabeco. So now we move to the second part is credit risk analysis. Thank you.
We use three methods for credit risk analysis, are 5C, risk premium, and advanced call. First, we present the 5C. Well, about character, we focus on five parts, including credit history of Sabeco, type of product, management, purpose of loan, and finally its distribution and awards. Start with credit history of Sabeco. In this slide is a table of credits. A credit history include short-term debt, long-term debt, and interest expense. We can calculate Sabeco debt to total asset ratio in 2019 for 25.54%, which is quite low compared to other business. The ratio is ensuring the um, high financial security about the company. In 2021, Sabeco increased short-term loan and reduced long-term loan. It means that Sabeco long-term debt loans stay is good and interest expense are down year on year. Sabeco main business is beer and beverage production, food production, and processing. In addition, the company also trade in real estate business, domestic and international travel business, and investment in finance, security, insurance. About management, according to a post from the new newspaper, it can see that Sabeco operating system has been streamlined with a series of visible and effective options. It means that Sabeco management lane are going in the right direction and have good results. Sabeco intend to increase sales promotion by at least 20%, so they want to borrow a working capital loan from bank, and the amount of loan equal 10% of actual total asset for 1 year. Sabeco has achieved certain achievements, especially leading the beer business in Vietnam. In 2016, officially listed its share on the stock exchange and becoming a foreign invested enterprise in 2018. Besides, Sabeco is one of 7 Vietnamese representatives named in the top 100, 200 best billion-dollar enterprise in Asia, voted by Forbes Asia, and include many other titles and awards. Now we continue to Hồng Hạnh present for capacity.
Now we come to the capacity. The capacity includes three parts: its legal, financial analysis, and business activities. The Here is two chairmen of the board, Mr. Carpenter and Trần Nguyên Trung. They are responsible for signing the loan agreement. Next, we come to the asset analysis. We see an upward trend in total assets in the period 2017 to 2021. The Sabeco took advantage of managing money to base and increase the enterprise benefit inflows. Next, we come to the financial ratio. Financial ratio of like asset with total liability and equity saw an upward trend over the period. Next, we come to the financial ratio. Financial ratio includes three parts: liquidity, efficiency, and profits. We see that the current ratio increased by 70% after 3 years. It indicates that high ability to pay interest and debt due. Quick ratio is still also high. It is up 2.17. So Sabeco have no difficulty in pay up short-term debt immediately. The quick ratio is larger than current ratio, so short-term assets do not depend much on inventories. Next, we come to the efficiency ratio. The efficiency ratio is high. The inventory turnover is high, is over 10 and picking up 19.8 in 2018. So Sabeco sell fast and inventory does not stand much. In 2020, the inventory turnover ratio reached at 30.45, which is 10 times higher than the industry average. So Sabeco sales speed is much faster than that of other business in the same industry. It is also the signal effective in inventory management measure. Next, we come to the profit. Average collection period is quite low, so the Sabeco inhabit effective sales collection. A different payment sales company is one of the methods to attract customers. It is also increase its revenue. Next, we come to the profit stability. The gross profit margin is quite good, but lower than other companies in the same industry. Net profit margin is fluctuation, but still above the average, so the Sabeco still generated enough profit from sale. Profit is an indicator to reflect the real result of the business, so always we see an outward change in ROI of Sabeco, it's, but it's still above the industry average, so Sabeco still achieves an impressive ROI and then rated income. Similar to ROI also see a downward change in this period, but it's still above the is still higher than the industry average, so Sabeco have an outstanding ROE in 2018 to 2020, especially in 2020. So we come to the business activity. With stable capital and a profitable operating plan, the Sabeco ability to repay the debt can be warranted. In 2021, the Sabeco recorded an increase in revenues and profit after tax. The company implemented many consumer promotions, improved production efficiencies, and implemented cost-saving measures. In 2022, Sabeco's total assets increased by 2.8% compared to the beginning of the year. Next, we come to the capital of Sabeco. Debt to equity Sabeco in 4 years is always lower than one, so the company will less depend on debt and the possibility of financial activity will rather good. So Sabeco debt to equity ratio is still high compared to previous, so Sabeco has been active in financing growth with the debt. The interest coverage ratio shows how successfully a company can fulfill its duty to pay interest, so this ratio is risk ratio reached 180.76 in 2019, so it is a signal to a very strong ability to pay interest on debt. The interest payment ratio at Sabeco stands to fall in 2020 and 2021, but still high, so Sabeco continues to guarantee its creditors' capacity to pay high interest rates. Now we move to the character with me.
Thank you, Hạnh, and will move to the next part, which is Sabeco collateral. According to Sabeco parent company, secure borrowing are generally loans for financial institutions with inventory, factory construction, investment project, machinery and equipment lease as security. Based on Sabeco financial statement, security for short-term loan are inventory, account receivable, short-term investment, tangible fixed asset, and investment properties, while security for long-term loans are tangible fixed asset to be formed in the future, and investment properties. Then we come to the last C, which is conditions. In this section, we will analyze to aspect external and internal environment. First of all, is external environment. We only focus on macro environment. There are 5 elements that we consider in this section. They are political factors, social factors, technological factors, natural element, and economic factors, which is presented in this table below. Moving to internal environment,
We use Foster Firefox model to see the ability of Sabeco future project. After considering all factors, we come to conclusion for existing rivalry is moderate, potential entry moderate, threat of substitutes low, buyer power low or moderate, and final is supplier power is moderate. Um, Beside company resources, we also consider for internal environment. We also focus only 4 elements, which are human and financial resources, material and intangible resources. Uh, the next part is risk premium approach. Risk premium is another straightforward and fundamental method to assess credit risk. The model has the form presented in the slide. To calculate Sabeco probability of return, we assume the risk-free rate will follow the current bank interest rate with 6.6% for 1 year loan, and for the corporate bond interest rate will be 5% due to triple B of Sabeco, and therefore the result is 0.98, which means that the debt has a 98% chance of being repaid and 2% probability of default. After having this result, we calculate the corporate bond by taking all the number into the formula, and the result equal to 6.12%. Therefore, the risk premium will equal to 1.12%. That means the risk differential of the interest rate of corporate bond versus the risk-free rate. Another method to assess the credit risk is Adman Z-score. The object of the model is to measure the financial health of the company to forecast the likelihood of its bankruptcy in the next 2 years. The model has a form presented in the slide, and after calculate all the financial ratio, the Z-score equal to 4.36. We compare the result in discriminant zone table and find the Sabeco belong to safe zone, which indicates that the firm before is not likely to happen in the next 2 years. Compared to period years, this score has equal to 4.36. This downturn can be explained by COVID-19. However, it is still an impressive number from the perspective of competitors in the same industry, and the next part will be presented by my member Thảo.
On lending decision, we find that Sabeco is safe to make the loan. The proposed is suitable and the collateral is also approved. Sabeco also meets the 5C condition. In 2021, 50% of Sabeco equity capital is greater than the loan of 50 billion VND. So we would approach the loan. Sabeco need to prepare some loan legal document for a loan. Include document to evidence the debt, document to attack and support various type of collateral. Document required to perfect the security interest in order to reduce the risk of credit default. We will only lend to Sabeco provided they meet the requirement listed. You can see in the slide. After considering the 5C, Amazon and risk premium, we got to the conclusion that Sabeco is eligible for the loan. To improve the negative aspect, Sabeco must meet a few more requirements. It should take inventory turnover into consideration, must quadruple at a very least by 2020. The debt to equity ratio also need to be improved. It less than 2.0 times. So it is the end of our presentation about credit analysis and lending management. Thank you for listening.